when you put the word science into what you're saying, it most often sounds pretty smart. But what about when, upon deeper, further reflection, you realize that maybe it's not saying that much? Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, and welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number 193. This is the one about Jeet Kune Do training in different arts versus studying human science. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button. Feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, please visit jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this, the Keep Calm and Learn to Fight Ferociously t-shirt, available in long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodie, pullover hoodie, and coffee mug. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Okay, so we all become better martial artists. I should put this up on. Let me see if I can put this up on screen next to me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so today is going to be a kind of a quote palooza, right? So we all become better martial artists when we learn to train scientifically. There's that word. This doesn't require studying different arts. It requires studying the human sciences. There's that word again, of mechanics, dynamics, and physiology. Okay, cool. All right. So, but what exactly is that saying? What exactly is the science of mechanics? It sounds to me like auto repair, right? And what is the science of dynamics? Is that like hydroelectrical engineering or something? So I thought we would start with dictionary definitions. So mechanics, turns out mechanics is a branch of physical science that deals with energy and forces and their effect on bodies. Okay, that sounds like it has some dealings with martial art. Another definition is the practical application of mechanics to the design, construction, or operation of machines or tools. So if we were to extend the meaning of the word machines to include weapons, yeah. Or maybe if we extend the meaning of tools to include kicks and punches, yeah, right? A third definition, the mechanical or functional details or procedure. Okay, I would say that too has martial art applications. All right, dictionary definitions of dynamics. The branch of mechanics, which we referred to just now, concerned with the motion of bodies under the action of forces. Yeah, right? The forces or properties which stimulate growth, development, or change within a system or process. Now, that one's interesting because these forces or properties, right, can be understood to be mental processes that lead to physical changes. You with me? And then physiology, of course, we know that's a legitimate science, the branch of biology that deals with the normal functions of organisms and their parts, or the way in which a living organism or bodily part functions. All right, so yeah, of course, that's martial art. So these are the branches of science that we should be investigating, arenas in which we should be asking questions, because my understanding is that that's what scientists do. Scientists ask questions, right? They question, sometimes let's say, they question that which already exists. Like, what is consciousness, right? These are questions that they ask. What makes us human? What's the deal with prime numbers? And then they conduct like all kinds of experiments to see where things came from, what we can do with them in the present, and how we perhaps might change them for future use, for future application. Bruce Lee himself ranted endlessly about asking questions, about nonconformity, about not accepting unquestionedly, that's a word, the teachings of the classical system. That was his big thing. So I was recently asked, why would it be necessary to study different arts as part of your JKD training if Bruce Lee had already done all the heavy lifting for us and had given us the blueprint for how to train Jeet Kune Do? Now, that is a valid question if you view Jeet Kune Do as a finished product. In effect, if you view Jeet Kune Do as a system, perhaps even a classical system, and you view Jeet Kune Do as a result of only what Bruce Lee passed on and what he handed down. But if you remember, actually, if you understand that Bruce Lee was big on empirical experience, then that might open you up to a different point of view. Because remember, this is the guy that said what? Man, the living creative individual is always more important than any established style or system. So let me ask you this, because here's what it says: established style or system. All right, so we're not going to use the word style because we know that Bruce Lee was radically opposed to the idea of style. But let me ask you this: is not Jeet Kune Do an established entity? So Bruce Lee said, man's more important than any established style or system. So let me ask you again, answer in the comments. Is not Jeet Kune Do an established entity? All right, so I told you this was going to be quote palooza today, right? So on page 88 of this here book, Chinese Kung Fu, Philosophical Art of Self-Defense, Bruce Lee writes, simplicity is the natural result of a long and profound study of the way of movement. All right, so let me try to connect some what do you call it? Connect some, what's the stuff that you connect, Russell? Shoot, I can't remember the word. And points, let me correct some points for you. Simplicity is the natural result of a long and profound study of the way of movements. Simplicity is one of those like main ingredients of Jeet Kune Do, right? Technique should be simple, direct, effective. Some people say simple, direct, and non-classical. But what's the quote? A long and profound study of the way of movement. Let me see. If I engage in a long and profound study of the way of movement of Thai boxers, if I engage in a long and profound study of the way of Filipino Kali, the way Kali people move, if I engage in a long and profound study of the way that Pencak Silat people move, might I end up with tools to use as effectively as possible? And I should put that in this one here, right? Let me show you that one, because that one is supposed to be, yeah, right? There should be no method of fighting. There should only be tools to use as effectively as possible. Okay, so that's my question. If I engage in, as Bruce Lee recommended, a long and profound study of these different arts, might I come up with an understanding? Might I end up with the ability to use these tools as effectively as possible? So long and profound study indicates spending some time with the bloody thing. It's not dabbling. Dare I say, it's spending enough time to absorb what is useful. I crack myself up. Because here's the thing, here's the important thing to remember about this study of different arts. This study of different arts is always tempered by the desire and the intention to use them, to apply them in a JKD manner. It's not at all about drop in Jeet Kune Do to study Kali, drop in Jeet Kune Do to study Pencak Silat, drop in Jeet Kune Do to study Muay Thai. No, 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 no. I have said this so many times before. I think I did a whole series on this. For enlightened JKD people, the study, the cross-training, whatever it is that you want to call it, the associated disciplines, whatever it is you want to call it, your ultimate goal is to JKDize what you get out of the study of those things. What you get out of the study of those things is brought back into your Jeet Kune Do. In what? That's how you end up using the tools effectively. And the thing, see, here, okay, let me stick to the program. I don't want to go off script so much, right? So page 89, it's almost as if they needed me to stay on the same pages. Page 89 of this one here, Striking Thoughts. Bruce Lee says, education, to discover, but not merely to imitate. Learning techniques without inward experiencing can only lead to superficiality. So, goes back to the question. Well, Bruce Lee already did all the heavy lifting for us. Bruce Lee already did all the experimenting. Bruce Lee already did all of the discovering. So why do I have to go down that route when all I have to do is to follow what Bruce Lee passed on? Well, that could be called imitation, right? Which I know is supposed to be like the highest level of flattery or whatever, but that's not what we're talking about. Learning techniques is what he said. Learning techniques without inward experiencing. Inward experiencing, you know how you get that? You get that from delving deeply into the thing, a long and profound study. That's how you absorb. That's how you experience inwardly. Here's another Bruce Lee quote. It says, to live is to express. And to express, you have to create. Creation is never merely repetition. There's that word again, right? Well, not again, but imitate repetition, right? To live is to express oneself freely in creation. Sometimes I wonder if a lot of these professed JKD people, if they actually read anything that Bruce Lee said, or if it's just like, well, no, we got this material here. This is Bruce Lee material. So we do this material. So we're doing the Bruce Lee thing. I don't know. Sounds like classical system to me, right? Now, I was trying to find the actual page on which to live is to express is where that quote exists, but I couldn't. But I found this instead. Quote Palooza. It says, the secondhand artist, the secondhand artist, in blindly following the teacher, accepts his pattern, and as a result, his action, and above all, his thinking becomes mechanical, his response is automatic according to the pattern, and thereby he ceases to expand or to grow. You want me to read it again? The secondhand artist, I'll just paraphrase. The secondhand artist, right, blindly follows the teacher's pattern, the teacher's movement, and then he becomes mechanical. All this is like elementary for anybody who is a true student of Jeet Kune Do. They would have heard Bruce Lee ranting and raving against being mechanical, against blindly following patterns. This is like JKD 101, right? Anyhow, so that's enough of my ranting for today, right? So what say you? Do you think that you can just acquire, do you think that Bruce Lee himself acquired the tools of Jeet Kune Do without even once looking at different arts? Or do you think that we should do like he did and look at anything that could help us in our own journeys? I really want to know if you think that Bruce Lee came up with this tools thing. He came up with the tools and he never, ever looked at any established art. right? It's like, so Bruce Lee was looking at the tools for kicking, and he discovered the tools for kicking. He developed his tools for kicking in a vacuum, never once looking at the way Thai boxers kick, the way Savate people kick, the way Kung Fu people kick, the way anybody who was out there kicking kick. Never looked at different arts. I'm not saying that Bruce Lee himself had to engage in a long and profound study of different arts, because it's always said that Bruce Lee could pick stuff up from anybody, and almost overnight he could do it. Okay, good for him. He didn't need to do that. But we're not Bruce Lee. We might need to spend more time in it. I'm just saying, right? And I don't know if it hurts or helps to do that. Anyhow, so let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all I got to say for this too long video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. Coming up on Friday, we should have, if everything works out, we should have a Jeet Kune Do Dialogues doubleheader. Jeremiah Gill of Kali Combat Systems should be on at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 8 p.m., William Hurst of Hurst Academy up in Ottawa, right? That's so Jeremiah at 6 p.m. and then Bill Hurst at 8 p.m. Right? Today is a red day. Yeah, I know the whole thing's not red, but that's the purpose of the ringer and the ink spots, right? So I'll see some of you on Friday if you can make it. Otherwise, I'll see you next Wednesday for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Until then, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Take care. Be sure to reply to this stuff, because I really want to engage you guys in discussion on this particular topic. Right? So stay safe and talk soon. Take care. Okay, now I think we're live. God damn technology.
Do natural and unnatural, starting with punch 2 and do like 2-4, 2-5, that sort of thing?
Yes, you could. It's not as common, but there is such a thing as your entry technique being from the rear hand. There is such a thing. So yes, but we will come to that, because right now, so when I had you go singles, that was an idea of that. When I had you step in with this, then step in with this, that's the idea of being able to enter with the rear hand. So of course, yes, yeah, definitely you can. Yes. Okay. All right. Anything else? Yes. Carbia.
When it comes to the same sided hip, with the
ipsilateral.
The ipsilateral hip, are you hoping for the first punch to draw a reaction? That way that your second punch will break through on the same line?
Nope. I'm hoping to hit you twice. You see? Right? And we mentioned Eddie Pagan, Richard Bustillo lineage. Richard Bustillo said, probably when Chip and I went out to the IMB in '88, right? Richard Bustillo, he said, Dwight, teach them how to hit first, right? Forget the defensive stuff in the beginning, because defense is instinctive. If you tell somebody, I'm going to hit you in the head, they will go like this. But can they hit back? Right? So you teach them how to hit first, and then work the defensive stuff. You get it? So that's what we're doing. So both sides did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we just graduate, so to speak, to all right. Now we graduate to 3-count hitting. Okay. So who here is the math whiz? Okay. Right. So. I don't know what the answer would be, but if we have entry, follow-up, and finishing technique,
and we have 2 leads, left and right, and we have 5 punches, okay? What's the possibilities? Boda Miller? A lot, right? Okay. So here's what we do. We hit the 1, the 2, and the 3. That's the first three count combination. Then we hit the 1, 2, and the 5. That'd be a 4.
Lead.
Yeah, that's right. So my simple math is this: odd numbers and even numbers. Odd numbers are the lead hand. Even numbers are the rear hand. But then you gotta explain to some people what an odd number is. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 5. Okay, now 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 4. You see it?
Yes,
So
sir.
I just messed up everything. All right, so I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 4, 3. All right? 1, 2, 5. 1, 4, 5. Yeah, because I was supposed to do all of the natural combinations first. Now we do the unnatural combinations. So we start with 2 pumps of the lead hand. You see? 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, and 4. You see? Then 1, 5, and 2. And then 1, 5, and 4. That's the whole, what do you call it? What do you call this? What am I doing?
3 count?
Right, 3 count combinations. Thank you. Okay, can we get that far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, don't ask me to